because you don't wear trouser as a sister, and you don't use makeup. Every other person that wear trouser and uses makeup, you cannot even talk to. Praise the Lord. It is hard for you to even greet them. It is hard for you to even relate with them. Because you have designer shoes and designer shirts now. You can't even relate with somebody that doesn't dress well. What did Paul say? He says, if I know you don't dress well, sometimes I dress down to relate with you. I come down to your level. Oh, I'm the most brilliant in my class. I get class. We talk to the brilliant chaps. But for him to win, if it is sport, it will come down to the lowest of the lowest. Come down to their level. Play with them. If God did not come down to our level, God came down and was conceived inside the womb of a woman, God. And then when it was time to birth, God, they started saying, push, God. And then came out, and he was under the tutelage of a carpenter. God was relating with carpenters. Jesus, the Savior of the world. You have degree, you cannot relate with, you are now in school. All your brothers, all your friends that are still on the streets, some of them have even gotten pregnant. You can't relate with them again. You say, no, they are not my class. He said, I become everything to every man, that I might save some. Flexibility. When you get to the Agbero, you don't have to, listen, you don't have to be an Agbero to be able to save them. But there is a way you can come down to their level. You want to preach to, you want to preach to an Agbero. You are wearing suit and tie. They are already intimidated. Flexibility. You want to preach to a prostitute. The first thing to you attack is, why are you dressed like this? Flexibility. Jesus Christ. When they brought a lady to Jesus Christ that was caught in the very act of adultery, how did they catch a person in the very act of adultery? With all clothes on? Now, as evidence that they caught her in the very first act of adultery, maybe all that was on her was pants. And I don't think in those days there were pants. Praise the Lord. What was Jesus Christ doing when they caught him? When they brought the woman to Jesus Christ? He was writing something on the ground. What was he writing? Nothing. He didn't want his eyes to see some things that he's not supposed to see. Yet he didn't want to push the woman away. So he put his eyes down that, okay, let me be busy. And all through the conversation, when he asked, woman, did anybody condemn you? Jesus Christ did not know, because he did not put his eye up. And he just put his head down. And it was the woman that is answering. He said, nobody has condemned me. He said, I too, I did not condemn you. Go and say no more. Jesus Christ never lifted up his head. And he did the job. But you, especially Brother Pius. When he sees sisters that paint fingers and paint nails. And let me draw this line for you. I know they will still tell you in relationship class. Demons wear long skirts. So praise the Lord. So be flexible. How will you be preaching to somebody that cannot speak English and you are speaking Queen's English? You're already intimidating the person. The English of the person is bad. Switch to pidgin or speak it like the way the person understands. Now, the person wants to give his life to Christ. He said, no, that's not how to say it. It's not Christ. It's not Christ. It's Christ. Tell your neighbor, be flexible. You want to preach in the village. Eh? In the village. And you are wearing jeans and sneakers. Then the fourth one, strategy, is the strategy of influence. Now listen, this one works every time. There are people that you have influence over. And I want to talk to sisters. Some of you have a whole lot of influence. Some guys are running after you. Now listen, Matthew Ashimolowo that we know, Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo, pursue they get to the church, to the crusade ground. It was a girl she pursued. And he heard the word. I remember as a teenager, what always kept me going to church was one fine girl.